Today, we're going to talk about pom-poms. So in the store, we carry a couple of different types of pom-pom makers. I believe Clover has one. This is the wooden pom-pom maker that we carry. It comes in 4 sizes. I have 3 of the sizes here today, ranging from 1.5 to 2 inches is the smallest, and the largest makes a 3.5 to 4.5 inch pom-pom. Today I'm going to make the small, which is this one here, and it's going to make about a 2-inch pom-pom. So what you're going to need are a pair of scissors, some scrap yarn, your pom-pom maker, and you're going to need some string. So this is a string that I use. It's just a cotton string. You could also use embroidery floss or some thick thread. This is just to tie the pom-pom up at the end. So you need something that's pretty sturdy. Sometimes yarn can break if you rip it, if you pull it really tight. So we want something that's going to be really strong and not going to break. So the first thing you do when you take your pom-pom maker out of the box, it comes like this, and we're going to take it apart. Like so. Okay. And we're going to turn the pieces around so that the dowels are facing out. Okay. Then we're going to take one, and we're going to start wrapping the yarn around. And I always like to try to catch that little tail so that I don't have to hold on to it. So you're gonna keep going and going and going. And make sure that you get lots on the sides. You want to fill up the sides a lot, because sometimes I find what happens is I end up filling the center of the pom-pom a lot more than the sides, and what you end up getting is kind of an oval pom-pom, which is okay. You can always trim it down to a circle, but you'll get better results right off the bat if you kind of try to keep it even. So see, you're wrapping it and leaving those dowel bits out. Yeah. And this will take more or less time depending on how thick your yarn is. So I'm using kind of a worsted weight yarn here. If I was using a fingering weight yarn, obviously it would take longer to do all this wrapping to fill up the spaces. And a thicker yarn would take a lot fewer wraps. What I would do now is I would start wrapping the other one. So I'll check back in with you when the other half is full. Okay, so they look pretty full to me now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them together and put the pink part back on. Now, depending on how full you've made your pom-poms, this might be easy to do. I like my pom-poms really full, so this might be a little bit of a squeeze. You can always take some yarn off if if you've put too much on there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we've sandwiched our pom-pom. And now what you're going to do is get a really nice sharp pair of scissors, and you're going to cut all along the center. So there's a little little groove in the wood, so you're just going to follow that little groove. And this is where a really sharp pair of scissors is very helpful, because you're cutting through so many layers. Okay, so that's the last of it. So put that down very carefully, because now you don't want to take the top or the bottom off yet until you've secured your pom-pom with some string. So I usually cut about 20 inches of string, because I want something that's going to be easy to tie, and then easy to tie onto my hat. So you're going to put your string in the center all the way around. Okay. All the way onto the other side. You're going to tie it. And you want to make sure that you tie it all the way down to the center. Okay. And I know that part came off, but that's okay because we've secured it. Now I always like to tie it a second time on the other side, just to make sure it's not going anywhere. Okay, and now you can take your pom-pom pieces off. Okay, so I'm going to hold my center string. Okay, and then I'm going to fluff up the pom-pom. So see how it is round, but it's a little bit messy. You've got your tails in there, and you've got kind of, it's a little bit misshapen, so we just have to get a little haircut. I like mine to be nice and round. And this is something you could do outside or over a garbage can, because as you see, it's like a barber's floor. So this can take a little while, so I will check back in when I'm finished. and give it a little bit of a shake. Give it a little shake at the end. So this one's a really nice size for a hat. You could also use the larger one for an oversized pom-pom. You could use the smaller one to make 2 matching pom-poms. They would make really cute ears on a kid's hat. You can also use up your leftover bits to make a really funky, scrappy one like this. And to do that, you would just wrap, instead of wrapping it all in one color, you just wrap chunks of different colors and you get something like this. I've also made rainbow pom-poms, which are super fun. And then this is a garland that my daughter and I made using a whole bunch of different ones in different sizes, different yarns. And we just strung them together using the same string that I showed you. You could also use sashiko thread or embroidery floss for that. Have fun!